As with any good install video, things don't always go as planned. I unfortunately lost some of the audio to the first clips of this video. I'm hoping you'll bear with me. Here's a quick B-roll intro, and then we'll talk about what I'm installing on the Jeep JK today. The JK is finally getting a new winch. We have a Rugcel Tank 13,500 pound winch that we'll be putting on the metal cloak bumper we installed a few weeks ago. So let me do a quick unboxing with a voiceover, and then we'll jump straight into the install. Let's get this opened. Looks like we have accessories up top, some electrical connector boots here, the Rugcel owner's manual. Be sure that you flip through this before you get started. The winch is a wireless remote winch, but has a cable option as well in case battery dies, so nice redundancy. We have a fairlead, so that's great. Don't have to go buy another one. We'll set a few of these items over here to the side. Don't forget the ground cable. We will run through how to install that here shortly. We'll set the rest of this stuff over here to the side for now. Got a sticker and another sticker here, and then your bag of hardware. So just make sure that you run through and check that you have all the bolts you need to install the winch. And there it is, the Tank Rugcel 13,500 pound winch. Let's get this out of the bag and ready to install. The first step is for us to mount the control pack onto the winch. Now the reason this is removable is in case you're trying to fit this winch into a spot where maybe you don't have the added clearance and you need to mount this control pack elsewhere. For our use case on the JK, we're just going to be able to mount this straight up on top of the winch itself. So to do that, the Rugcel sends some nice instructions. If you turn the winch over, or turn it around I mean, you can see they've marked exactly where you need to connect the cables. I'm sorry, a car going by. They show you where you want to connect the cables, and they have these all labeled very clearly. So you have your ABCs marked on these wires from the control pack, as well as on the terminals here. So we'll go ahead and get these mounted up. I should say I'm using a 4mm Allen key to install the control pack with the provided Allen bolts. As always, you want to tighten these in a crisscross pattern. The winch motor has these terminals labeled. The cables are also labeled. So it's as simple as matching cable D to terminal D, cable C to terminal C. So let's do that now. There we go. Now you'll notice I'm leaving the bottom nut that's already on these terminals. We will start with the thin black wire here. This must connect to the motor terminal A, so you'll see that here. We're going to use these supplied rubber boots. These are protective boots, and we'll slide the red one onto the short red cable labeled B. And then you'll see this rubber boot is just gonna slide kind of up and over and add some additional protection to that connection. Next, we'll connect the C wire. So I've got the black boot on there, and we've got it connected to the black terminal here. Again, everything's labeled. Be sure you're connecting the correct wires to the correct terminals. I'll tighten that up. We'll put this boot on there. One other flag. Don't forget you're going to have to put this last wire on this yellow terminal. So you're going to need to bend this a little bit so that there's still space there to route your other wire. Tighten that one up. Last one, yellow on D. Putting these boots on and putting them on the terminals is probably the hardest part of this install so far. So now we have the control pack wired up to the motor. Make sure that the last cable you have here that's disconnected is the long positive cable. This does not get connected to the motor. This is what's going to go back into your engine bay. Now, I like to, before I drop the winch in, I'm going to take the lock nuts or the nuts here and slide them into their little cutouts here on the mounting bracket. You'll see what I mean here. So if you come in and just take a look right there, you can see where the nut will slide in to the mounting plate. And we're just going to do that on all 4 of these. You can do that after you set it in the winch plate, but it makes it easier if you do it ahead of time. So now we'll take this over to the front of the Jeep, set it into the winch plate. And keep in mind, you're going to want to be careful as you slide these wires in. You'll want to tuck them up underneath the grill. So let's do that now. With these cables, you're just going to want to tuck them so that they are below your grill. To make it easier, if you want, you can actually just pull your grill off. We might wind up doing that to route the wiring, but I'm going to see if I can leave it on. We'll figure that out down the road. In the meantime, just put this power cable back here. Now, one thing you want to make sure you do early on in this process is take your winch line and make sure you feed it through wherever your fairlead's going to be. Because I have mounted a winch and forgotten to do that, and sometimes that can be a pain. Now, what I should have done earlier is also connected the negative ground cable, which also connects to the A terminal on the back here, so the same as the thin ground that you have from your control pack. However, I decided to do this last because I want to be able to feed it through the engine compartment and to the winch rather than trying to feed up from the winch. So it doesn't matter how you do it, whatever you prefer, go with that, but don't forget you have to make sure that you have your ground cable from the winch to the battery. So let's do that now. I'm gonna feed this in front of the radiator. So it's pretty simple to do on the JK. There's a nice little hole here that you can kind of access both sides on. So go ahead and grab it from the grill. So there we go. We've got it coming out here. I'm just gonna run that down. Again, you wanna make sure it's not touching anything that's gonna get hot. And tuck it in between the grill, the plastic grill, and there's like a grill part of the frame, or there's a crossbar here. So I'm gonna have the cable run in front of that crossbar and behind the grill. And then we'll connect it again, like I said, to terminal A on the back of this winch. Okay, that's nice and snug. Got that wired up. Next, we'll run the positive wire, same way, up into the engine bay. And I'm gonna run it right next to the negative cable. Take it up same way. Just stay behind the grill here. And then we will zip tie these two together and tuck them away so that they're not overly visible from the front of the Jeep. Now, if you have a JK, to conceal the wires, there's actually a little trim piece right here. And I'm just gonna pop that out. And then you can conceal the wire behind that flap. And that's gonna keep it looking nice and clean from the outside. Just so you don't have an unsightly red wire in your nice 7-slot grill. All right, so can you guys see that? See that piece right here? And that will just pop back in. And as you can tell, I mean, you're still gonna get a little bit of visibility on those cables from the front, but it'll hide them a little bit. Comment below if you have a better way of routing the wires. When you route your cables, just keep in mind, this isn't necessarily the only way or the right way. It's the way I've decided to do it on this Jeep. I have also run winch cables up through the wheel liner before on other Jeeps. That's how I did it on my $392. But the main thing is make sure that you do not put these cables near anything hot. All right, let's go ahead. We'll wire up the switch and then we are done with this install. This is going to be personal preference. I am going to opt to mount an isolator or a switch that will allow me to disconnect the positive connection, just so that if I want to make sure that there's not power going to the winch, it's not going to drain the battery, you can turn it off here. It's fairly simple. We're going to run the positive from the winch into here. We'll connect it on one of these terminals in here, and then I will run a short positive cable from the other side to the positive on this battery. So this switch is nice. It's got two little pull-out ports here, so I can remove those and wire it up. So let's do that now. Put that on, lock washer. So the first negative I'll say about this install is the switch base plate. The spot for the nylock nuts is here, okay, on the switch body itself. So if you want to affix the base plate to the switch body, you have to run the bolts from this side. And that means I'm not going to be able to mount this flush. Also, these bolts are too long. So it's not the best switch in the world. I mean, it's functional, so it should work fine. But instead of trying to jerry rig this with a bolt, I'm actually just going to use some electrical tape to tape the base plate on here. And then I'll put a piece of Velcro on the base and a piece of Velcro in here, just on top of the battery, and that's where I'm gonna put this switch. That way it's easy to remove on and off, and when we change the battery out, again, simple. We'll just put new Velcro on the new battery. Okay, so let's do that now. There we go. And we'll wanna make sure that we connect the ground cable first. And then your positive will run back here. We've connected the ground cable to the negative terminal. So again, the negative, the black cable, to the negative terminal on the battery. I've connected the switch up. So we've got the positive running into the switch, and then the short positive extender going to the positive terminal on the battery. It's wired up, it's bolted in. Now I just have to reassemble the bumper. Remember, be very careful, make sure you feed your winch line through the fairlead here, and we'll do the same with the bumper as we put it on. So let's do that now. So what I love about this remote is that they give you the option to run it wireless, or it also has a wired cable that I can plug directly into the winch and then plug directly into the remote. So that's really nice. If you're worried about wireless remotes, you have the option to run it by a cable, and we've got power, folks. Let's go ahead, put the winch hook on here. We'll run it up tight. Now remember, before you use a winch, you always have to pre-tension the line on the drum. I've done another video about that, so I'll link it here somewhere. Check that out. Always make sure that you pre-tension your winch line before you run your winch. Okay, let's get this winch hook set up, and we are done. So it took a minute to get the cotter pin out, but now we've got the winch hook. Let's put that in. Come over here. And yes, I just used pliers as a hammer. Okay, cotter pin secure. We've got the hook on there. Now we can run that in. Now always be very careful when you get close here. And actually, one thing you want to hook up to this is a hook strap So we'll put that hook strap on there. That way, keeps your hands away from the fairlead as you're winching in. We're gonna put it right about there, snug it up, and that's not going anywhere. Fairly simple install. I, again, love the wireless remote and the fact that it also has a cabled connection as well. We are gonna go test this thing. Stay tuned. I'll be posting another video in the future about how well this Rugcel Tank winch works. We'll go up into the mountains, maybe do like a winching for beginners video or something like that. Overall though, I think the install turned out great. Really like the way it sits in the metal cloak bumper here. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. But in the meantime, folks, please have fun out there, be safe, and as always, stay on the trails. We'll see you next time.